Welcome to the Green Wasp Removal YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're at a local park in upstate Indiana, and we're inspecting the structures in this park where we typically see in the springtime beneficial native wasps setting up their spring nests underneath the eaves of this pavilion. We always like to check the species to find out if there's any invasive species replacing the wasps we usually see here in this location. But on this date, May 9th of 2023, we found only our local beneficial native wasps, which is a good thing. This one is probably a northern paper wasp or a Polistes Fuscatus, possibly a Polistes Metricus. It's a little hard to tell from this angle. These wasps are native to North America, and we commonly see them in upstate Indiana. This is a queen or foundress wasp, and what we see her doing here is constructing a cell in the center of the nest, raising the wall of that cell, because soon her eggs will hatch into larvae and they'll extend the full length of the new amount of nest that she installs. So she tries to keep up with the growing larvae by extending the nest throughout the season. You might find these nests exposed out in the open underneath the eaves, or sometimes they're tucked away in small cavity spaces. Here we find another wasp nest that's brand new this spring, just a few cells on it with a few brand new eggs in it. And here's another local beneficial native wasp with a good sized nest going. It's got several nice healthy looking eggs in it spread throughout the nest. You can see how this nest is a lot bigger than the ones we've documented already this spring. This may be because she's reusing an old nest from a previous season. If you notice, the 2 or 3 cells at the top of the frame show that they already have some silk caps inside them. It's certainly possible these are from parasitic insects that have woven cocoons inside the old empty wasp nest, and they're just using the nest as shelter. So our native queen wasp, who might reuse this nest as well and put her eggs in there too, she might do that at her own peril, because you never know if these parasitic cocoons will spawn larvae that eat her larvae. In another bay here we find a Metricus wasp nest. This is brand new, you can tell from the size of it. It's being built right next to another insect cocoon of some sort, so hopefully that won't cause a problem for her later. But this Metricus queen is hard at work on a brand new nest this spring. You can tell it's brand new because it's so small, just a few cells on it, 1 egg in each cell. That's perfect timing for a nest developing in mid-May here of 2023. What you see this Metricus queen or foundress working on is resecuring the petiole, or the small stalk that holds the nest to the roof of the eaves of this structure. The weight of the nest steadily increases throughout the season as she puts more cells on it, adds more eggs. The eggs turn into larvae, the larvae turn into pupa. The weight of the nest just steadily increases throughout this period, so she needs to keep steadily strengthening the petiole to keep up with that weight. So far, there's good news here. We don't see many of the invasive Polistes diminula, which tells us that the local Metricus and native northern paper wasps are having a good go of it in this local ecosystem. So far, they're able to hold their own in these places where they historically nest. Of course, the downside to these local native beneficial insects nesting in these public areas like parks and community centers or underneath pavilions where a lot of people will recreate and congregate throughout the season is that people are afraid of wasps. It's an irrational fear most of the time that is essentially propagated by the media and by chemical companies that sell wasp poison and sprays and that sort of stuff. In the media, typically the message is, wasps are evil, they will sting you, you must kill them immediately. Well, we're here to tell you that message is absolutely false. It's factually and scientifically incorrect. It's that simple. Anyone who bothers to do even the tiniest amount of research or even spends time just observing wasps around their own property, they're going to see the truth. The vast majority of wasps are simply docile towards humans unless you directly attack or threaten their nest. Wasps are some of the most important, yet most feared and misunderstood insects on the planet. If you just simply treat them with respect, they'll leave you alone. They'll help take care of your local ecosystem. They'll help you get rid of pests in your garden. They're the good guys. It's fun to learn about your local species. Give it a try.